they chose to tamper with the education system
Imagine.
out of
Education system,
everything. They're
out of
killing the
everything.
future of South Africa.
It doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. It doesn't.
But our education system is not that good.
Exactly.
It's still I think it's still developing. We're saying they must better it. But what they're doing now is like they're also just pushing it down. It has been a black institution. So the issue of transformation, as much as you can talk about it, you talk about it from another. So there, when you talk about transformation, you're still talking about a black person and a white person. It's something which exists. And as much as it's trying to transform, I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't wanna reveal. Being goal orientated, whereby you wanna achieve dreams.
is for you to bring them back to perspective on their value and their worth.
Don't you wanna reveal? They're waiting. Let her cool.
Okay.
Welcome back to the number one student podcast in SA. You know you're with your one and only host, but today I'm walking alone, but not walking alone at the same time. Guys, before we actually started this podcast, this episode, we found something about our producer. She's part of a band, not only a rapper, but she's also part of a band, guys. Hey, I saw a picture there on the status. What instrument were you playing there? Tell them.
I wasn't playing anything. I was just holding a guitar. That's all. No,
what you
I was
did.
playing. I was learning how to play.
Nah.
Yeah, but not because.
So, guys, you know this is the podcast. This is the platform that caters to you, undergraduate, postgraduate, professional, working class. So if you want to be educated, if you want personal development, if you want professional development, this is the platform for you. You are not lost. And today it's another special episode, guys. We have the one, the only, umongameli, president from all the way from University of Cape Town. I'm talking about the one and only Hlamulo, ne? Hlamulo. Yeah, guys, hey. So, who is Sobasnai today? He's the gentleman that's going to take us through the journey of being a student to taking part in the leadership positions and also being able to manage both those things at the same time and still cater to the student demographic. So, guys, brace yourself for this amazing episode of today as we are about to blast you off. But before we actually go anywhere, guys, I actually want to ask you what has been happening this week. I don't know if you want to say anything about that, Fortunate. Like something that was currently trending.
I haven't been reading much on social media lately, so.
No. Do you know anything that's trending?
No.
Man, I wanted to actually speak about something, guys. I actually have something. Did you... I want to check it out here. Did you actually see the budget cut from, I think, the Minister of Education? She did like a budget cut on the education department. So now apparently I think less people are going to be employed, even post like doing their studies for teaching. I don't know, Fortunate, you can actually check it for us. Didn't you hear about that?
The budget cut about I think we touched on that. What was it? Last week or last week, something like that. But yeah, let me try to find the reference. You can go
While
on
you're
and
on that, I want to also touch on something else. Guys, there's been a lot of race marriages here, guys. Like, I saw one in your university. I think it was in Rondebosch.
Rochester, I think.
Guys, what's happening with people getting married at rest?
No, they don't want to waste time. Yes.
I was actually shocked. I'm like, yeah. So, I just want to say, welcome, gentlemen, and I hope you're good, and I hope you also have your real cup of respect. Don't you drink coffee?
No, I don't drink coffee.
Okay. So, I want to ask you something. Yeah? Do you think you're the best president that UCT has ever had?
Yo, I can't comment on that. I can't be the one who rate myself. I think people.
But according to your best knowledge, Because you've been in UCT before
Yeah,
and seen like how things were operating.
yeah. I don't think so.
No. But you think you're there, man. For top 5.
I don't even think so. Because I mean, I was at UCT only for 4 years, so it means I only had to experience maybe 4 presidents.
Oh, yeah.
Or actually, I only experienced 3 presidents, then myself. So my comparison will be always me with the
Yeah, that's
formers
true.
which I
With
was
the-
able to experience with. But so also, I can't say whether I was the best or not. I can't rate myself. I think people are the one who can judge.
That's true.
And
But
it's too subjective.
it is subjective.
Depends on who is talking from which point
Yeah,
of view.
it depends on also like the perspective. It's very true that what you're saying. So I wanna know a bit more about yourself. Like, what do you come from? What course are you doing? And most of all, what inspired you to actually get in the space of politics?
Yeah, I come from Limpopo,
Okay.
Vembe,
Where in Limbo in Vembe?
at Chidzini village, which is around Toyando.
Toyando. Okay.
Yes, that's where I come from. I went to Mpandeli Secondary School
Okay.
from 2016 until 20, I did my matric in 2020. Then, yeah, I passed my grade 12. Then I was accepted to study at UCT,
Wow.
where I'm still studying there now, doing my Bachelor of Science in Physiotherapy. So it's in health science.
Bachelor of Science.
In physiotherapy, I'm specializing in physiotherapist. Yeah, so 2021, I arrived at UCT. I think was my first year. COVID, the time of COVID, so a lot of stuff were quite online.
Yeah,
but
I remember that.
I think the degree I'm doing forced me sometimes to go to campus. We'll go maybe by smaller groups so that they can maintain their social distance and everything. Yeah, so that's just a background of where I come from.
No.
Yeah.
So,
then-
what inspired you to actually pursue like politics?
Now, I think it's a matter of you arrive at the institution and you see quite a number of challenges and you see other student leaders who are assisting like students. I think that's what inspires you to say these student leaders who are assisting students, they are seniors. It means at some point they will have to leave. Then it means it inspired to say, I would like to be part and parcel and maybe have an impact for
No.
us.
So you found the. Yeah, can you please brief us about it?
Okay, so I will be reading from the skills portal. So it says that South African education system is facing severe financial crisis with budget cuts threatening the quality of teaching and learning nationwide. Minister Sifiwe Kwarube has raised the alarm over the growing budget shortfalls, which could significantly reduce teacher posts and essential resources, jeopardizing the future of millions of learners. The education system is under immense pressure. This was the message from the Department of Basic Education's Minister, Sifiwe Kwarube, on Wednesday morning during briefing on the impact budget cuts are having on the education sector. Budget pressures within the education sector stands between 79 billion rands and 118 billion.
So it was cut from what, 79? From 100 to 79 or what?
It says that it stands between
Or between 79 and
79
100.
billion and 118 billion.
So it means that a lot of students that are actually doing teaching now,
Yes.
their their degrees or their diplomas are going to be at risk.
And mind you, the budget cuts, they are affecting, okay, let me read this. These budget cuts translate to fewer teachers, reduced textbooks, and fewer administration support staff, which means that teachers spend more time on administrative tasks, leading to a reduction in teaching and learning time. So how are our learners going to resume education without textbooks?
But I just want to ask you on that. You just heard what she said. Do you have any like opinion on that?
I mean, it's a difficult situation or something which you really don't understand. Because the same minister or the same government we talk about, they will say they want to better the education.
Yeah.
They want the education system to be better. They want to, but if again you are doing budget cuts, it speaks opposite to what is their goal. Because if you go and ask them when they resume into their offices, they came and say, this is what we want to achieve, this is what we want to do. But with the budget cut, it does not make sense now. So how do you better education if now they no longer have textbooks?
Out of all the courses that are available in institutions, they chose to tamper with the education system.
Imagine.
Out of
Education system,
everything, they're
out of
killing the
everything.
future of South Africa.
It doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. It doesn't.
But our education system is not that good.
Exactly.
It's still in the, I think it's still developing. We're saying they must better it. But what they're doing now is like they're also just pushing it down.
Maybe
even from
what they could have done was to try to look into the courses that do not benefit the system anymore. You understand? And try to, yeah, I don't know which ones, but just try to find something. But what they're doing, I feel like it doesn't make any relevancy.
Because I also feel like the country's educational system is very simple, and they make it very simple for us, man, to the point that when you get to the real world, some of the people really struggle. They can't manage to take all the theory and actually put it into practical.
Yeah, true.
So because like you remember when they dropped the passing rates, I think the passing rates mark, man,
Yeah.
from 40% to actually 30% for grade 12s and all that. That's actually I don't think it was actually a good way to actually motivate people to do. Yeah, man, because
I think their goal there was try to avoid having a lot of people in school. So when the pass rate is low, people just come in. Go, you get 31, it means you're out of high school, you have passed one.
I
so
see,
that was
yeah.
their main motive. But it does not make sense to say pass rate is 30%, but when you go to TVETs and the university, the requirements to enter it is at a
still
certain
high.
level. So
Exactly.
now, what are we trying to produce there? Because I think we must have a sense of our basic education. They must produce students who must go to the higher education,
Exactly.
or who will be able, when they move from the basic education, they can be able to use that education somewhere else beneficial. But if you passed with 31%, high chances are in 100% of the knowledge that you are supposed to grasp in your basic education, you only have 30% of that knowledge. Then how are you going to survive with this? So I think to them it was not beneficial to the student. It was just the government trying to save its own money.
Yeah, and
to say
chase
we
them
want
out of
people
the
to go out.
schools.
But don't you think it's because they want them to attain like the matric certificates in order for them to get jobs, because they know that that's the world we're going into,
But
and
still-
they need them to be educated.
A matric certificate no longer gives you a job.
Exactly. I was
A
going to go
matric
there.
certificate no longer gives a job. It used to give a job because at that moment the pass rate was high. So you having a matric certificate, even if it's a higher certificate, not even a bachelor, we have that assumption that you have a knowledge which you have attained from your basic education. But now if the pass rate is low like this, it clearly indicates that it's no longer have that value, because the more you reduce the pass rate and people are just passing, it means it loses the value of a what? Of a matric certificate.
That's actually very true. I agree with you. But I like your point. Do you know I've never looked at it like that. Like they actually reduce the pass rate to actually make more people. But it can work on both ways, guys. I feel like it can work on both ways. So I wanna actually take on something like this. Since we know that you've served a term, I think you are one month close to finishing your term.
Yes.
So I want to know how the several conspiracies in the recent years about the particular racism and inclusivity, how do you actually work around them? Because we know that UCT is a very broad university and it caters to a very diverse audience, diverse of students, let me put it like that. So how do you actually cater to them?
I think let's just take it back a bit. We will be honest with ourselves. The history, UCT itself, initially was not for people of color or for everyone.
Yeah.
UCT itself, it comes from a historical background where it has been a white institution. So at this current moment, UCT, it is still trying to transform. It have not yet transformed. And I think it's still too far to transform. The things like racism at UCT exist. Even the system itself, it's a system which is racist by its virtue. So I think we can't say we tackled it, but we are trying to have that little impact which is assisting the institution to try to transform as it can. But I don't think I can say in my generation or in next 2 years or 3 years, UCT is going to be transformed. I think it's still going to be quite a long journey for UCT, looking at where they are coming from. You can't compare it with Forte. It has been a black institution. So the issue of transformation, as much as you can talk about it, you talk about it from the So there, when you talk about transformation, you're still talking about a black person and a white person. It's something which exists. And as much as it's trying to transform, there are still white people who still have not yet accepted that it have to transform. They are trying to hinder the progress of transformation. So things like racism and all this systematic racism at UCT, that's where they really, really exist.
So you actually speaking about the systems and the policies. I just want to know how you, as like leadership, especially for students, what kind of movements do you do in to actually like maintain or actually work around this thing to prevent it from happening with the policies that you have in the institution to favor the other people that are like disadvantaged?
It's time to time, all student leaders, even myself previously, they have things which they've been pushing, which after they push the end over, we continue, we put it to a certain step. Even the next one who's going to come, they will take where we have left it to there. How do we deal with that? We are challenging the policies which the UCT had. Actually, if you can look at UCT at this current moment, they've adopted the employment equity, where they are in their employment, they are trying to use a majority of time they use a standard mandate where they prefer to employ people who are less represented. It's the same way if you check how they've been doing their employment. Ever since Max Price have served, people have been vice chancellors, have been black people, because that's some set of when they do those things, the preference maybe find that it's a black male, a black female, or a colored female. So we're trying. Those are the kind of things which UCT have started to implement is the direction which they are taking. But as much as they have that direction, actually they have a full plan of how they want to transform it. It's just that it can never happen overnight. It can never happen over here. But as much as there is that plan, there is still a group of people inside UCT which will try to hinder the progress of that transformation, who will fight it back. So I think as the student leaders, our role is to be coming there and add our force, add our hands to assist the institution into moving into the right direction.
I feel like that's actually true what you're saying, because always in a room now, I believe that in a room there's always going to be people that are going to stand against something. There's always going to be people that are standing with something, and then there's always going to be people that are in the middle, like they reflect on left and right. You know? So I don't think it's going to completely be fixed, but it's actually, if there's progress, like you're saying, it's actually a good start, and it can get better over time as you guys are working on it. So, but how do you like work around the protests and some of the issues that have been arising at your institution based on, let me name one of them, like financial blockage. I think that's a very crucial issue among the students.
It's a very complex issue, which, as much as we always want our universities or our executive to come with solution on dealing with it, but the real issue is this problem, it will never be solved inside the institution. It's the Department of Higher Education that can solve the issue of the fee debt that students have. Because the institution, for them to be able to run all the services that they run, they use the fees. They use the money which NSFAS pays. So we cannot expect the institution not to demand the fees from students, because if students don't pay those fees, it means the institution will no longer be able to run. It means if we're saying students must no longer pay where they stay, it means there will no longer be a maintenance in the residence of the institution. But also that we don't just take it away. What we always do is to say there are those who will be able to afford to pay, and there are those who will maybe get NSFAS, and those who can't able to pay. So we always engage with management to say, can you allow those who cannot able to pay, but academically they are eligible? So don't exclude them financially. The only method which they can use to allow them to study to complete, maybe they will be able to pay you back while they've started working. Those are the kind of things which we can look at. But also that one is not a good thing, because those who can afford, it means when they complete their degrees, they are already one step ahead, because they don't need to pay any loans. Then those who can't afford, when I complete my degree next year, I'm owing the institution 200,000. It means I'm starting 10 steps back. I will never start like any other person who's coming from a advantaged background. So that's also other challenges that you face. But I think we always, year in and year out, there will be strikes in the beginning of the year where you are saying, all the students must be allowed to register regardless whether they are owing or they are not owing. So I think it's something which we are still struggling to answer that question of what could be the permanent solution regarding that, because each and every year you'll find that you are singing the same song. Each and every year singing the same song, which I think at some point there must be a permanent solution. Because I'm trying to think that what we are talking about of financial exclusion or feeded, it didn't start last year. It didn't start from
It's been
all
happening.
it have been happening. Each and every year in the beginning of the year, you are going to fight for, you are going to strike for that and that. This clearly shows that the government or the Department of Education, at some point, it must sit down and reflect and ask themselves, how can we resolve this issue?
That's true. No, guys, I feel like we have to fill our cup of coffee. So, guys, stay tuned as we are going to the break. But after the break, we are still with the one and only Mongameli wa UCT, guys. So, brace yourself and don't move a muscle, but if only you're moving for the cup of respect. So, we'll see you after the break. Welcome back, guys, to the #1 student podcast in SA. Can you believe it, guys? I didn't even introduce myself at first. Mara umongo, unyat, utambo cool, upuqedako, umhadla ngagesi lo, magesi ngelibisi. So, guys, we were actually...
No, you did not introduce all of us.
Yeah,
Why
I
are you
remember.
introducing you only?
I think maybe urooms akekho. So I wanna say we're still with the one and only umongameli wala UCT. So guys, before we actually proceed with our wonderful interview, we're going to play a game. Are you down for it?
Yes.
Just 2 questions, Jay.
Okay, let's play it.
Just 2 questions. And it's starting with ladies first, ne?
Yeah, you always do that.
So, what is the weirdest thing that you've ever Googled? The weirdest thing that you've Googled.
Okay. Guys, don't laugh. I'm gonna go about few days back. I think about 3 days back, I googled Questa because I didn't know him.
You didn't know Quest. So why did you Google Quest? Why?
No, I was watching this other film. Our lecturer told us that
Piano
that
Love.
film has Questa in it.
Oh, piano store, piano lab.
Piano Love. So I saw this guy. I was like, man, let me. And I was like, okay.
Hey, fortunate. Hey,
Yeah,
so what about you? What's the weirdest thing you've ever Googled?
Yo. Hey, I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't wanna reveal.
No, what is it? Everything that I Google is not weird. What is it?
That one thing. You have it now on top of your mind.
I'm trying to think. Yo, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mara, okay, even if it's not weird, but it's going close to that.
Yo, this one let allow it to pass me.
You're gatekeeper. Gatekeep information.
I'm trying to think, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it was how to make money. That was the weirdest thing.
I feel no, but I feel like it's not weird.
No, it's weird because how to make money, guys. Come on.
It's not weird. I think most people always Google that. I also do. I don't find it weird.
There's this other. Hey, let me just leave it.
Okay.
Okay. I have another question.
Okay.
The question is, if you were invisible for a day, what would you do?
I would go to the bank and steal money.
Fortunately,
You only see the bank walking in the sky. I'm telling you. I'd
secure
go to
the bag.
I'm securing the bank. I'm not even thinking twice about it. I'm going to the ATM.
What about you?
no, I think I'll do the same. But me, I'll be very strategic about it. I'm not gonna take money. I think I'll just go to one company, register myself as an employee. As I'm being employed, they will pay me every month.
No, I'm going to secure the bank.
They will pay me every month.
True. That's actually a very nice way to look at it. Hey, yeah. Hey, it's smart.
Look at this.
Something around that.
If I go and steal the money, I'm still going to get employed at the end of the day. I'm getting paid monthly and I still have the bag with me.
Yeah, cars.
Yes. So it's much
Guys,
What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
Guys, Mina. Alright, guys, we have to go back to the episode.
We are in the episode. We are in the
Let's go back
episode.
to
No, what would you do?
Ish. Hey, to be honest. Hey, there are a lot of things. That's
One.
that one thing. Yes, I would travel, man. I would travel to Elon Musk's house and find all the blueprints.
But you have one day.
Yeah, one day I will travel, I will see good things. Guys, maragine flight, it takes about 18 hours.
So in your one day, you're left with 6 hours. It's 24 hours.
So, okay, I'm getting to sun. I will be left with the 6 hours. With the 6 hours, then I will make a plan go to figure New York, Kumbe, LA. And then still complete my mission. Yeah, guys, about that Marangshilo, I don't know. I don't know. Angaz. So
Okay.
guys, back to the conversation. Now under the students' concerns, I want to know whether how do you like work around pressing the issues currently faced by the students in your institution?
I think it's all about engaging
No.
with the.
But what platforms?
No, as the student representative, you sit in different committees.
Okay.
So you are deployed in different committees. Each committee have their role, what they look at, what they deal with. So if we want to talk about financial issues, it means we'll go to the University Finance Committee. That's where we'll talk about it. Then it will be taken maybe to council, which is the highest decision maker, which deals with everything goes to council for final approval. If there's the issues of housing and everything, it means we must take it to what? To the committees which deal with housing,
Yeah.
the Department of Student Affairs. So I think it's a matter of engaging and trying to think, man. You know, sometimes, as much as strikes sometimes come to be a way which we use for executive to listen to us, but this is something which don't get. We strike to be given a platform to talk. So you strike when people don't want to listen to you. Then when we are striking, that's where they will call you and say, come and let's negotiate.
Now, yeah.
Then, problem that we have sometimes with student leaders is when they strike, but then when they are brought into the room to say what could be the possible solution, they also don't know. That's where you get it wrong. Because you can't go to you just want something, then they ask you, how can you get it right? So I think negotiating and always trying to think on what could be the best possible way. Don't go there and ask them that our students don't have resident. And then they will ask you, what can we do? They can't build a rest today and finish it tomorrow, and we take students
Yeah,
from
that's
all.
true.
So that's where you must start to say, okay, fine, let's try to look for private accommodation. Let's bedding. You come with such kind of, because sometimes even themselves, it's not like they do some astrophysics. It's to think. Whether you are an executive, I am a student. All we can think, so that I also cannot go there and give them unrealistic thing to do. I can't wake up and go to a negotiating meeting and say, please build a rest now because I have a student here at the hall, they don't have a rest. There is no way they're going to build it today and finish it tomorrow.
True.
That's
so
true.
those are the kind of things. It's a matter of engaging on this and always allowing the superior logic wherever in any space that you take to prevail. Because I mean, it goes to a respect. You know, if you enter every committee and whenever you speak, they can feel it. They end up reaching a point where they even respect you.
That's true.
They even respect you. But whenever you enter every space, what you do is to shout and disrupt authority. You lose even that little respect which they can give it to you. That's something which student leader. I'm not saying to strike. To strike it happens. If I want to talk to them and they're not giving me the platform, what must I do? I must shut down the campus. And that's when they will feel it that, okay, fine, now we can call the leadership and do it and sit down and then we can talk. But I think it's a matter of engaging with the executive. I think that's the most fundamental thing to do.
But I want to say that, guys, I barely hear strikes from UCT, man. You guys barely strike, ne?
What they do? I think my term is the only time we didn't have a strike.
Ne.
But ever since I came to UCT, all those other terms were striking.
So within your term, what can you say that you actually had? Which objectives did you have and actually also achieved them?
Yeah, so in my term, one of my objectives was all academic eligible student must be allowed to register regardless whether they are facing financial challenges, which is something which I achieved. I think I didn't really strike, but we went to negotiations. That's why UCT gave concessions to students who are owing the institution. Second objective which I had was the issue of residence. At UCT, if you look this year, what we did is in the beginning, before even the student come, the same rest that yet rise, we're able to come and liaise beds. We're the UCT student in the beginning. Is to make sure that every student who don't have a rest when they arrive at campus, they're not going to sleep in any lecture hall, they're not going to sleep outside or anywhere. All students don't have a rest. We don't want to know the reason why you don't have a rest. We used to take you and put you into a temporary rest, which was already prepared before they start to come back. Then when you're in a temporary rest, that's where you fix your what? Then you get your rest and you stay. That was my second objective, to say I don't want to see any students sleeping on campus. I don't want anyone with bags in campus.
But
And
who compensates for those temporary rests? Is it the
Is the-
students or the
institution.
Oh, okay.
One they will pay the resident that will give them for the whole year. That temporary one, you can come and just stay maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks while you're fixing your issues and
you
make
move
sure
out.
that then you will take you to your permanent rest that you will stay there.
No, it makes sense.
So those are the one of the things. Another thing which I wanted is to actively to conscientize students. Like in my time, I said I want a lot of political lectures, and that's what I think we have done good. We've been hosting programs where it's more about just coming public lectures. I think with the public lecture we call Kokomachela, Dalimpo, they come and be. Those are the one of the things in our objectives. Even when you go with my team to strategic planning before my term started last year, we went and that became one of our goals to say we want students to be people who are actively engaging on the issues that are affecting us in our communities.
Which party actually deployed you? Are you deployed under?
Yeah, I'm deployed under the EFF Student Command.
Oh, EFFST. Okay.
Yes.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Hey, that's actually a big party under the student platform, I can say, because I was looking at the progress and the votings for, I think, 2025, 2024, 2025. They have actually catered. I think they actually representing in most of the universities. I think in UL and VETS.
VETS, we lost it now.
Oh, okay.
Last year we're leading it.
Oh.
So 2023, 2024, we won VETS. I think we're presenting many institutions. But now this is a season of elections. So we'll be able to get a proper state maybe around November when many institutions have got. But now up to so far, I think we have won UL. UL have won it. UCT, we have get it again for another term.
Are you part of it still? Are you part of the team?
No. Now I'm no longer going to be in SRC. After this is my last time. I've been in SRC before I became a president. So I served in SRC 2022, 2023 at the sports and recreation officer, SRC. Then 2023, 2024, I served as the president.
So why did you actually decide, no, I want to be a president now? Like, do you have those like leadership qualities really naturally? Or?
You will never decide on your own. You can't wake up tomorrow and say you want to be a president. Masses must want you.
Okay.
And they will deploy you.
It's the people that
it's
say
the people who says you can
we
take
want
this
that
thing.
one, the chosen one.
There is no one who would say they want it. No, because you will want it and people don't want you, and you don't go there by yourself.
Yeah, that's true. It can be difficult. Mostly. So what are the initiatives that the SRC is pursuing to support like the academic success of students and also benefiting towards like their mental health and those challenges that students are facing?
No, I think during our term there were quite a number of things that we were able to do as initiatives. At UCT we have something called student wellness, where people book for getting psychologists, book for if you have some medical challenges. There's a clinical. In my term is the term which we reach to agreement with them that if it's an emergency, a student must be allowed to do a walk-in. Must no longer wait for a booking. Because to book, you can book today and get a slot of tomorrow or the following day. But for a student who feels like, I really need assistance for now, during my term, the first thing we did was to say, let's open. Even as we're speaking now, at UCT with student wellness, they are walk-ins, so you can go to the clinic as you walk. It's talk about academic excellence. I think we always support students, from even students who get to be academically excluded. I think in my term immediately when we start, because the term started on the 1st of November, when results came out on December, we start a very big program which we are assisting students to assist them to appeal when they are academically excluded. Because we understand that you can be academically excluded, but you don't really know the process, or you don't really know what is wanted in an appeal. You will just write an appeal which tomorrow will be rejected, not because you don't qualify to be accepted.
So you actually educate them on how to do that?
we don't only educate, we educate and even do it for you. You can go one-on-one with us. We sit down with you. We sit down and assist you. We structure your whole rec. We even assist to attach everything. We give you final things to submit this one. So that's the one of the initiative that we did during rec. Even now, student who assist, there are students who will not get DPs, so we are able to assist them to appeal for their DP. Students who maybe they are missing test, we are able to assist them. So we give a student education on even the fact that what happened for you to reach a point where you will get to be academically excluded. So we even teach students. You can identify a student who is in a risk of being academically excluded before they get to be academically excluded. Those are the kind of initiatives that we brought to say we educate them on what happened, so that we also give them ways of when you see that now it's like you can be academically excluded, what can you do before you can be academically excluded?
Did they come to you, or do you like?
If we do it, we have something called desk. So we'll release a poster saying now we have a rec desk. A rec desk will have assigned team in an SRC which deals with that. So in everything that you have to do, it means you'll contact people who are in that poster of a desk. Those people are going to assist you with whatever challenge that you're facing.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. So I wanted to also touch on, based on like the recent disruptions, how is the SRC actually advocating for like fairness of education, including also the racism that is in there with the policies and all that. How is the SRC advocating for fair policies among the institution?
I've engaged that SRC sit in different committees. So in each and every committee which they sit in, their main mandate is to push for the progressive policies, for the amendment of policies which are they are not inclusive to all students. So I think the issue of policies is not something which we discuss sitting, as much as we can talk about it when we are sitting here, but does not assist anything. The only space where policies are able to be amended and changed is when you sit in certain committees which deals with those policies. So as SRC, we have deployed student representatives across different committees which exist in the institution. So that's where we are able to challenge such things.
No. So regarding the the fact that you mentioned that students have a platform where they can actually put in their concerns or their issues, and then the SRC can actually come together and see what they can do with that. So what are the certain platforms, like, besides someone going straight to an SRC member? Are there any digital platforms that someone can actually get to and contact them and tell them, good guys, hey, I feel like I'm going to be financially excluded. I feel like I'm going to lose this and this and this.
They can write an email.
Nah.
Yes. So especially if you're a UCT student, when you go to Outlook, write SRC in the position that you want. It will show you an email. You can email in one, SRC president, SRC vice president. It depends on what you want to be assisted. If you are more familiar, you will even know who deals with this issue. So if you have a problem with resident, it means you will email the resident coordinator. But those who are not familiar with who deals with certain issues, majority of the time they will email me as the president, or they email my secretary general, and then we'll see how to assist. So that's the platform which they can use, just to write an email, or they go to the offices, because there are times which our offices will always have SRC members inside.
So how do you work with like educating students with their ignorance? Because we're aware that students are very ignorant with politics. So how do you work around that, educating them with politics and also influencing them, telling them, guys, this is the only way to actually lead the country in the right way. They should actually vote. They should actually be aware about certain things and policies that are in order.
I think it's just hosting programs. Have public lectures, have dialogues, have engagement, those kind of initiatives. That's the only way which I think you can try. But also just being in group with students, talking to them. Some students, when you're engaging, even if it's not like in a formal space, they'll be able to get something from it. Okay.
So what are the future objectives of the SRC? I don't know if they were discussed already or...
Now, each SRC, when they start their term, they go to strategic planning. And they will plan their whole term.
So there's not like maybe a 5-year plan like China, where each one has to take over where this one left off?
I think all SRC will have handovers. So there are projects which you have started, but you fail to conclude them, because the term which you have is like a 1 year. So it means you will give them those handovers, and they will take it from where you have left and push it to a certain extent. But it depends on the SRC which is coming. Each SRC can decide whether they want to continue with it or they can abandon it.
Or they can start their own project.
They start their own project, and maybe they can take it. Depends. So it's something which is difficult to talk about 5-year plan in student leadership, because a student leadership change each and every year. So each and every year they are going to the election. So it's very difficult for you to talk about 5-year plan, 10-year plan. It's something which is going to be difficult.
It can be doable in terms of like the structure, when the structure is set in that way and those objectives are really highlighted or emphasized to each and everyone that actually enters within. Because I feel like not everyone comes up with good ideas. Not everyone is gifted into, you see. So
what happens when, let's say we won elections as the EFF and we have these objectives which are different from DA. In the next year, DA won elections. You think they will come and push what you're pushing while they don't believe in it?
I think it's a matter of, yeah, that's a good point. It's a matter of, I don't know, but SRC is different from the party, ne? I think so. So it's a matter of putting aside the differences, but focusing on the objectives that
but we
have
differ.
to serve the
As
students.
much as SRC is different from a party, but their politics are shaped by the party where they come from. You will find a DA which says they want NSFAS to be alone. I don't agree with it.
No.
And even our party, we don't agree with that. So if Tina were coming with initiative of such some sort, when they come, they will want to push their own objectives. That's why I'm saying it's going to be a very difficult thing to find a student representative which can have a 5-year plan.
No, I hear you. But I just want to ask you one more question, which is, what advice can you give someone out there that wants to be a president one day for UCT or for any other institution?
I mean, I don't know what kind of advice can I give them. But I think when they go to the space, they must understand that it's not going to be easy.
No.
And they must never reach a point where they allow the whole pressure to make them like lose themselves. Because there's a point which people will expect you to do things which you can't. They will expect you to move mountains. Even a mountain can't move. So I think it's important to understand that you are not a God or Jesus who can perform miracle at some point. And at some point, you must be able to understand that besides being a president, you are still a student.
That's true.
It's gonna be very embarrassing for you to be investing, trying to do things which can't happen in the other moment when on your side you are failing. Because the reality is, after you become the president, they are going to forget you. You still have your own future. They are not even going to think about it. They are going to say, oh, he was the former president, but there's nothing which is going to assist you about. So just remember that as much as you're a student leader, that does not give you that you are no longer a student. Now you have rejected everything.
Yeah.
Also, they must be ready for some academic decline. You know, when you get into student leadership, academics modes, I think you'll start passing with 50s now. You celebrate getting 51.
You're aiming for 50.
Yeah. You just want to submit at some point.
Guys, so that's it from us, from the #1 student podcast NSA, with the one and only host Umelu Simongunya Tutambo working with the one and only ghost lady Uresmada Wasekai. So today we had our wonderful guest Hlamulo.
Yes, Hlamulo.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And from us to you, we're saying adios. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Comment on all our social platforms. TikTok, Facebook. No, we don't have one on Facebook. TikTok, WhatsApp, and Instagram, YouTube. Make sure that you're there interacting with us, guys, because we have a lot of things that we want to share with you, but I don't want to share now because it will produce a permit. So the number, if you want to contact us and give us feedback, uzokai fortunate
078.
078.
Go on.
Angiyazi phela.
I don't.
078 745
06 at the end. The last two numbers.
Guys,
06.
Chris is going to add the number like always here, ne? Don't listen to me, unfortunate. But till next time, guys, we love you so much. Mwah, adios and goodbye. Till next week. No rooms are ageko.
You're reminding them.